Welcome to Holtonsfixit101. Everyone's seen my post on Facebook and Instagram about this, so here's the table saw that everyone's been waiting for. Hope you enjoy. Welcome back. Now, today obviously we're going to be talking about Evolution power tools, but more specifically we're going to be talking about the Rage 5S table saw. Now, everyone knows that Evolution tools do multi-purpose tools for cutting metal, wood, plastic and everything else, and it'll all be done by one bladed only. I'm here to review this saw and tell you what the good things and the bad things about it is. I won't big up a tool and say this is the best thing since sliced bread, because that's not what I'm here to do. I'm here to tell you what the good things are, but I will also give you an impartial review of what some of the bad things are as well. Now, I'll get the camera and we'll get some closer up images of the saw so everyone can have a good look. Here we are at the close-up, and for anyone who's out there, the keyboard warriors, before you start, I have removed the blade guard so you can get a better clarity of what we're going to be talking about in this video. I have no plans to fire up this saw at all today, so I will not need to have the blade guard in place. This is just to show you more or less about things that you're happy with, not happy with. First off, you get all the normal things that you would expect on a table saw. The actual rip fence itself, I am absolutely over the moon and pleased with it. It's so smooth moving along in front of here. It's very accurate up against the blade as well, and it's so smooth to move along. And if you want to remove it, it's just lift up and it rides on some pieces of plastic, or yeah, they are actually pieces of plastic underneath there, that actually rides in a groove that's in this aluminium channel that's just here. So, and when you want to put it back, it's like that. That is a very, very good feature of the saw, and when you want to lock it down, it locks down very, very easily on those pieces just there, and it locks down at the back as well as it locks down at the front. A lot of rip fences you see on some of the other saws, they don't lock at the back, they only lock at the front, and I'm afraid that it gives you that bit there. Very, very pleased with that feature. You get the normal miter guide that comes with any sort of like normal saw. This one rides in this T-track if you really want to ride in the T-track, or you can lock it down, and there is a pin underneath here, and you turn the pin like that, and it allows the whole thing, sliding carriage, to come into play. Now, I haven't used this sliding carriage that much, but when Evolution actually sent this saw along to me, it has got a lot of grease on these carriage rails, and you know, to be honest with you, there's a little bit more too much grease, so it is quite hard to actually move this carriage backwards and forwards. But it's better to have more than enough than not enough, so it's one of those things that I'm quite pleased with. Couple of things that I am not very happy with. Initially on the top of the saw here is this rail system here. Now, these rails here can go out that way, so it gives you extra capacity in your rip capacity. But all this sort of like moves about, and I haven't looked at the moment to find out why there's so much slop in these aluminium extrusions that's on the side, and that's with the switch underneath. That's underneath there. That's with that locked up, so that you think that this wouldn't move. But I haven't looked at that at this point in time. But I will bring the saw that way, and I will move this switch. There's a switch underneath here that you unlock, and you make sure that your rip fence is unlocked as well, and it allows you to pull this all the way out, like that. So it gives you the extra capacity for ripping on here. Now I've measured this, and I brought this the rip fence right over to its furthest capacity as possible. Now, as I said before, I've removed the crown guard that goes onto here. So what I'll do is I'll take that up a little bit, and I will actually measure for you so you can actually see the actual capacity. Now, I've got nearly 26 inches, or if you're in that's in the old money. Now, if you're in the new measurements, that's nearly 660 millimeters of rip capacity. Now, anyone that knows about the size of plywood sheets, and we all call them 8x4, but they are 1220 by 244 or centimeters, if you really want to put it like that, or they're 2440 millimeters. Now, anyone that knows that is over halfway for ripping a sheet directly straight in half. So anyone that wants to rip a whole sheet of plywood that's straight in half, they can do it on this machine and take this to the job site where they are and do that. So Evolution have actually put that into place to do so, which is great, but this is now locked, kind of locked. There we go. Going locked into position. Now they're out there extended. These are actually locked in position. They're only when it's back this way they're kind of not locked in position. This one here allows you also. There's a couple of lock buttons here, and there's another one underneath here that allows you to pull this one out as well. If you can actually see that, I'll pull the machine over a little bit so people can actually see that. There we go. This one actually comes out, as you can see, as well. So it does actually give you a full capacity over the whole machine to actually put a whole sheet across this machine and rip it down through the centre without any problem. Now, there are a few other little bits and pieces, but I will actually go through those on here. Put that back. That takes that back that way, and you still get the full capacity of ripping in the machine. What a great idea! Right, now this is the side of the machine you can see here, and there is places here for you to put different accessories and stuff like that. It also comes with 2 spanners that's actually on the side, and one good thing that I've noticed that Evolution's actually put into this saw is that back here there's the same size ring on the back of there, so you can actually take your spare blade that you have for the machine and put the spare blade on there, put the spanners back in front of it, screw that up, and you're actually carrying around a spare blade for the machine as well as having one in the machine as well. So that's a very good feature that, again, that they've actually put in. Right, here's the back of the machine, and as you can see there's not that much to see, to be honest with you, to talk about. But anyone who knows me, one of my pet hates is the fact that the cord, it's not that long. It's one of my pet hates. As anyone who knows me on my channel knows, I do not like to have a short cord. But saying that, they have made quite a good substantial thing about the dust extraction on this saw. As you can see, it's got quite a wide opening on this saw, but that is nothing to worry about, because if you see the actual underside of the saw itself, you can actually see that the actual blade is actually all enclosed with a surround around it. It's not an open blade underneath there. So this dust extraction actually is taken completely off the bottom of the blade, and there's no dust on the floor that gets on the floor whatsoever, because it all goes straight down into the dust collection chute that they've actually built on the machine. Now you can see here that it has this port here and this port here. This port here actually connects up to this hose. As you can see here, it will connect up to that hose, and this hose is actually long enough so it actually goes completely right round the saw either way that you want it. This way really, but it goes right round the saw and connects up with the crown guard. It's here. That crown guard obviously goes on there, and that goes onto there, and it actually takes sawdust or any sort of dust really, whether you're cutting metal or the metal filings and stuff like that. It takes anything like that off the top of the blade, so the top of the blade is getting dust extraction, and the bottom of the blade is actually getting the dust extraction as well. So very good innovation from Evolution on that, but not the cord. Please, Evolution, put some longer cords on them. As you can see, there's not a lot you can see on this side, apart from it gives you the plate of how many RPMs that this machine is actually doing, or when it gets up to on no load speed, that is, the weight of the machine, and there's also some storage facility on the side for this push stick. This is a plastic push stick that they've actually given you as well. You can just sit in there, just somewhere to put it out of the way. Right, now the legs on this thing are not the most complicated things in the world, but if you are not versed in like putting flat pack furniture together, then I'm afraid you're going to struggle. It does have a very comprehensive instructions, and they do have some very good comprehensive instructions on the Evolution website, and I'll post a link to that on the down in there in the comments as well. But they do what they do. I wish that the wheels down the bottom there would have been a little bit more beefy than what they are. But let's face it, you aren't going to wheel it around quickly to wherever you're going. You're not going to wheel it up the road like a wheelbarrow, are you? So they do what they do. I'll bring the camera up just a little bit. Right, on the front here you can see the normal rudimentary controls, what you would find on any table saw really. There's the on-off button. Is an NVR, which is everyone knows, no wolf release. It comes with the usual things, and it also press the button for switch it off. This is very good, I find. Here this has a switch underneath here, which I'll give you a close-up at as well, but this is for like bringing up your blade here, and you can actually see on the top there that if you can see it, you can't. It's bringing the blade up on the top, and it's all you also release the button underneath here and push that in and turn it, and it actually gives you the bevel angle and everything else of the blade. So it's twofold, and that's a very good feature. I found it's none of this having a second handle round the side to wind it up and all this sort of thing. That is very good. You've got all the controls that you need all on the front, and that's a good feature of the saw. Right, let's just have a look at a couple of negative things about the saw that I found. One is this mitre guide. Yes, it's made of plastic. For a start, it's made of plastic. I dare say that is something to do with a price point. The other one is that it slides in this T-track, which is great. The bar across there is a little short. Like I say, it's made of plastic, but it's the diameter, it's the thickness of this steel that's just here that has me, thinking, well, they've set it so we can only just use their mitre guide, and I explained to you why. Here's a second hand. Here's one of my mitre guides just here. This is a I'm not sure whose make it is. Hang on, it just says new on it, but here's a mitre guide of what that I use on one of my other table saws, and fair enough, it goes into the T slot that's here, and it locks in, but I'll turn it around so you can actually see for clarity purposes. The actual mitre guide is up above the surface of there, so you cannot use a different mitre guide unless you have a completely different bar on your mitre guides to use it. And you can't actually use, you can't go out and buy one to actually use on this saw. You have to go and use their one, because their one has that thinner bar on their mitre guide. Apart from that, there's a few other bits and pieces that I don't like. Is these here, they tend to move around, but when that's all extended, it doesn't move. It's quite happily there. But this could be a problem in later on when you're trying to make sure you get an accurate cut on with your rip fence when you've got this all in the inside rather than having it extended. That could be a problem. Obviously the cord, one of my things, and they put a lot of grease actually on the rails underneath here. Some of it I'm going to have to clean off, so this will actually slide a bit better, but that's not a bad thing. It's better to have more grease on there than not enough grease, I would say. They're going a bit over the top with it, yes, but I would rather have more on there I'd rather take some off than trying to get some more back on there. And then it runs all completely rough. Apart from that, I'm very pleased with how this saw has come out. I have done a few cuts with the saw, and I'm absolutely pleased very much with how this saw has cut. Whether that's got something to do with the actual blade or not, I wouldn't know, but the actual saw is cut very well in some a few other bits and pieces, and I've cut some steel and I've cut some wood with it, and it came out very well. I would have liked a zero clearance insert, because this you undo this switch there and this comes up, which is it's brilliant. It's absolutely brilliant how they've done it, but I would like to have had a zero clearance insert. I have, not to, so we'd be able to, take the blade up through it, but the fact is, it's nice to have that option to have a zero clearance insert, and have this one as an option, so we'd be able to tilt the blade over. I can see why they've done it, but it just leaves such a gap down there. If you was to cut something, you wanted to cut a slither of wood off, you would have it going down the side of the saw and jamming the saw up in no time at all. And you know, and I feel that would have been a better option to have a nice zero clearance insert on there. But having said that, you know, I think they've done extremely well with this saw. There is another type of saw similar to this that Evolution make, and you can actually see that on their website, and obviously I'll post a link for that. But it doesn't have the folding legs at the bottom, and I will collapse down onto its wheels, and there's a switch down here which I'll show you. There's a switch down there, you press the switch and this whole lot just comes up towards you like that. And once it's like that, you'll be able to use it in the wheelbarrows type of mode, and it's very easy to move around, especially if you're on a job site or something like that. Then you know, it would be very good to use in that situation. And I found the best way to put it back up is to put it in that position like that. You can just about see me on camera doing this, and you just pull on the handles like that, just push down, and it's back in place. And that's it, back in place back on its stand again. Well, there we go. There's the Evolution Rage 5S table saw. Now, please be cautious if you go out to buy one of these, please, because it does come on a pallet. It is a huge box that it comes in, but the box is very packaged very well, which I expected that from Evolution. From my last saw that I got from Evolution, it was packaged so well, and I'm not knocking that. I think it's a brilliant thing. There are a few, like I say, there are a few things that I don't like about the saw that can be improved, so please, Evolution, can you do that? You know, especially the leads, but you know, it does come with all the normal sort of things. It comes with a crown guard. There's also a clamp that goes into the top of the motor guide here, and you know, but I would say to everyone that does or is going to buy one of these, or like you would if you was buying any saw, to be honest with you, whether it's a circular saw, jigsaw, you know, whatever it is, right, please take the time, take the insert out and check the blade, whether it's been the blade's been inserted properly, whether it's run the right way, and whether it's actually connected to the arbor of the machine properly. Do not just plug it in, switch it on and hope for the best, because that, you know, please do not do that. Please check your saw and make sure that everything is above board before you start using it. Apart from that, very good, and I do appreciate that. You know, this is going to help me around my shop immensely, actually, especially if I want to go and cut, you know, a great big sheet of plywood up. I know that I'll be able to take this outside onto my patio or whatever. Take a sheet of board out there, I can cut it, rip it down, and I don't have to worry about moving everything around in my shop trying to get a board across my table saw. Now, not only that, I'd probably use a circular saw anyway, but it's nice to have that option that I'd be able to do. I can rip down a whole sheet if I needed to, with some help of other helpers around me. So there we go, Rage 5S table saw. Now, if you like this video, please click that like button, and don't forget to subscribe to the channel. I think it's up there. You know, I'm on the usual social media channels. You know, Facebook, you know, Instagram, and what's the other one? Twitter. Yeah, that's the one. And you know, please leave comments down below, and I will see you next time. So bye bye.